We are back. Welcome back, everybody, to the Real Takes podcast.
I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome back all three people. Sorry we've been away for so long.
Last week I got sick and couldn't do it. The week before, Max, you decided to take an impromptu vacation.
I did. It was very relaxing. Nice.
I bet. It sounded cool.
It was pretty cool.
But yeah, we are back, and we are back with yet again a different format of sorts.
To keep everybody on their toes,
Yeah, and a lot of this is just us trying to find our stride, trying to find what we're good at, what, how we want the show to be. So a lot of these early episodes, I'm sure, when we do make it big, Max, we're going to go back and listen to this. So, how did we not figure this out, the first time? This isn't that difficult.
Yeah, we're going to have fans that are going to be like, well, I remember when they couldn't figure out what the fuck they wanted to do. I was there from the beginning.
Yeah. We talked about reviewing movies, and we did the streaming picks of the week thing, but, you guys know what you want to watch already. You don't need us telling you what to watch, and there's so much of that out there.
Unless you're the Republican Party.
Yeah. Well, we won't go there. This isn't. Maybe someday we'll do political takes. Maybe. But no, we just trying to keep it. It's gonna be much more informal. We're still gonna keep it probably an hour under. If we go over a little bit, I'm not gonna cry about it.
We're just really good at bullshitting, is what it comes down to.
Yeah, and we feel that it's gonna be more organic. If it's just us kind of spitballing. So there'll be some things you'll hear us talk about every week. We'll probably try to talk about new releases, talk about some stuff we've seen recently, and just general stuff in the movie industry. Like Max said, just bullshitting. I'm looking forward to it, Max. I'm looking forward to the new style we got going on here.
I like the freedom to just kind of talk about whatever we want to and just kind of vamp, and I think it'll be good.
It'll be excellent. Before we get into some of the other things I know that we're going to talk about, Max, I had an interesting week. I had to say, I had to end a lengthy relationship on Monday, so I was start the show off on a little bit of a somber note.
You and John, you and John not friends anymore?
No, we are. There's another relationship that I had to end.
Do I get a chance to guess who it is?
You can try, but it kind of ruins the whole bit thing that I had planned here.
All right. Go ahead.
But it was a fruitful relationship. It started back in 2015. And I've got a beer here, and I don't know if Max does. But Max, we got to pour one out for the dead homie that is Movie Pass.
You're such a fuck.
This is my eulogy. You know what? It was a fruitful endeavor. Like I said, I got a lot of good use out of it. I tried to get you to sign up for months, and I don't even want to hear that I saw this coming, because that's totally a you thing.
I knew it was going to happen. I just wasn't a sustainable business model.
It was. And so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, is kind of kick it back to 2015, where it was $40 a month and you could see unlimited movies, which is still, almost a deal too good to be true for someone like me. I go see a lot of movies, try to go to the theater as much as possible, but it was worth it for me back then. And then they got this angel investment, and then the price drops to $9.95, and now it's just been too much. And I fully 100%. It was not a nasty breakup. I looked at myself and I said, I don't know that it's worth it for me anymore with the surge pricing. And now they've changed that. Literally, they changed the not requirements. They changed how the service works the day I canceled. So I canceled it on Monday after 3 years. And now they're charging $9.95, and you get 3 movies a month. But that's still a good deal. Right?
That's still good. I mean, I think you look at what Netflix went through, and their colossal screw up when they changed their whole business plan, and people were not happy, and everybody dumped Netflix, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, okay, just kidding, that was a bad idea. Never mind."
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because I don't know, the CEO of MoviePass is Mitch Lowe, who was involved in the early days of Netflix. I don't know if Mitch Lowe was around for that when it came to Netflix, but when you're a company, I mean, it's right now watching MoviePass is like literally watching a company figure out how to run its business in real time, right? Like there's all these different things going on and they're doing this, they're doing that. And then what really kind of did it in for me right now, and like I said, it's not a nasty breakup. Once they figure their shit out, I'm going to be back because it's just too good of a deal. And AMC's got this thing going on now.
I feel like most breakups, somebody says that. Oh, figure your shit out. I'll be back.
Probably. But AMC's got this thing going on now. With the A-list or whatever they call it, you can see 3 movies a week for $20, which is an excellent deal. But
$20 $20 a week or $20 a month?
$20 a month, and you can see 3 movies a week in any format. So like you can go see an IMAX, and you have AMC's out there in Montana.
I'm pretty sure our big theater is an AMC. Let me check.
Yeah, and we have Marcus's. Yeah, so there you go. AMC A-list. Yeah,
well,
Greg AMC, I like Greg. He's charming.
AMC has like these stupid deals. Like every time I go to a movie, I get points, and like I've gone to like 100 movies, and they're like, "Oh, you get $1 off of popcorn if you'd like to redeem that." I'm like, what? Yeah, sweet deal.
Right. God. But no, it's eventually, hopefully making the jaunt down to the Twin Cities area very soon. Cities, I say cities like. Anybody who's going to be listening outside of Minnesota knows what I'm talking about.
Do you really think we have anybody listening outside? Oh, I guess we do have some listeners in Montana. That's right. Okay, fair enough.
There you go. Yeah, so hopefully going to end up making a jaunt down to the Twin Cities to settle down there. One of these years. And there's tons of AMC's down there, so that'll be something I'll jump on right away. But yeah, man, it just when you start blaming your customers for using your service as a reason for your demise. I gotta pull the cord. I gotta unplug from your service. It's too much.
Generally doesn't go over too well.
Well, there just is no accountability when it comes to their service. Like it's like, okay, you offered it this isn't my take either. I've read lots of this, so I don't want to take credit for saying this, but I've seen lots of people, and they're right, saying things like, you offered an impossible service. You offered something that was literally too good to be true, and it came back to bite them. And now they've lost lots of subscribers. Marissa was a MoviePass subscriber. She isn't anymore. I know lots of people, I've seen people on Twitter talking about how they've cut their cards up, and a lot more people are more dramatic about it than I am. But yeah, man, I wanted to start the show off today with a little bit of a RIP to MoviePass. It was a good 3 years.
Somber beginning.
And hopefully, it's a great idea. It's a wonderful idea that I hope somebody can perfect. Someday soon.
Yeah, it's called Pirate Bay. Is Pirate Bay even still around?
I feel like it probably is.
Yeah, because they were based over in like Sweden or something, where like nobody can get after them or whatever.
Well, I learned something about those sites actually, like recently, like as recently as last year, and like you can tell where it is based on where the .com would be on a lot of American sites. So like
right.
Like .au is Australia or whatever you have. So like
you didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that. I also I don't frequent Pirate Bay. There are other means of. I'm not saying I've never watched movies illegally. Government, please don't come and arrest me.
I remember the good old days of LimeWire.
LimeWire.
Either they're gonna get like a perfect version of the song, or like some dude fucking a goat or something. You never knew what you're gonna get on LimeWire.
Quick story about LimeWire. I remember our buddy John. I remember infesting his parents' computer with viruses.
I remember that
because me and another friend, a friend of his, were downloading. Like we probably downloaded up close to 100 songs that night, and we just infested his parents' computer with viruses. So
you could only download the top-rated ones.
Rest in peace to the. To that computer. That was years ago. That was like 10 years. More than that, probably. It's like 13 years ago. God, we're old.
John probably got the shit beat out of him for that.
Well, but
that second hole in the drywall was where John's head got run through
it. Speaking of John and friends, I like this format too, Max, because this allows us to sort of bring guests on if we want to, because it does keep it informal. They don't have the requirement of needing to watch a specific movie to talk about. You can just come on. We can bring people on, friends. Maybe someday, other people.
I agree. Once people start knocking on our door to get on the show.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
So we did get a little criticism for our last episode. Or actually, no, it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't our last episode. It was when we rated we did our top 10 list.
Yeah.
Well, this girl I know, Nicole, really took some issue with our number one spot there.
Our number one spot as far as what now? The top 5 list?
Yeah, for comedies.
Oh, comedies. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I had Blazing Saddles, which, is a classic Mel Brooks movie and whatever, and she was very adamant that it should have been Anchorman.
That was number 1? Your Blazing Saddles is your number 1?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I got a lot of heat. I'm getting a lot of heat from her. She talks a lot of shit about it, how Anchorman should have been number 1. And sends me a lot of Anchorman quotes trying to prove her point. And I got her to watch Blazing Saddles, but I don't think she liked it as much as I did.
Well, get her on the show, and she can defend her point of why she thinks Anchorman should be the number 1 comedy. Boy, she probably wouldn't like my...
Well, I told her, I was like, hey, you're going to talk shit. I'm going to mention you on the podcast. Like, all 10 people are going to know about it. Like,
right.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. You yeah.
You gotta back up that trash talk.
You gotta back up that talk. You gotta tell me why Anchorman is the best.
Well,
I'll listen.
Of course, in my head, I'm like, man, I'm just glad somebody listens to the podcast. That's pretty sweet.
Right. Absolutely. Let's get some of this more formal stuff that we want to talk about out of the way. And I think one of the things we wanted to bring up today was what's coming to theaters this weekend.
Why the hell is anyone going to watch The Meg? Let's just jump right into it.
Come on now. Don't be hating on The Meg. I haven't seen it yet, obviously. I'll tell you what, though. If it's a fun time, if the shark's swimming around eating things and, like, the trailer, the little girl, like, she drops the thing. And
Ruby Rose is in it.
I don't know who that is, surprisingly. That name does not ring
a lot of tattoos. She was on Orange is the New Black. Smoking hot, whatever. Fucking terrible actress.
As long as this movie knows what it is, it'll be fine. It'll be an enjoyable watch. I plan on going to see it. I don't know that I'm going to rush out and see it this weekend. I have other plans.
Statham versus a prehistoric mega shark. I mean,
what's your point?
I don't know that there is a point to anything. I'm just okay. Here's my thing. I'm really confused. Because everybody's like, oh yeah, The Meg has like the most brilliant social media campaign ever. I'm like, okay, first of all, wrong. That's dead. Second of all, what do you mean? I haven't heard any of this social media campaign. And, like, I don't get it. Like, it's a big fucking shark. Like, I don't. Okay, what is the social media angle here? I don't get it.
I think they're talking more about. I think some of the posters have been kind of self-referential about. They've made some puns. I actually found myself shamelessly laughing at one of the posters. It's like a picture of the shark's mouth, like open wide.
Yeah,
and it says opening wide August 10th or whatever. I get a chuckle.
Is this for people that like Sharknado?
Here's my thing. I feel like this will be better than Sharknado, and I'll tell you why. Number one, it's got. I'm sure it has a much bigger budget.
You and me,
it has better actors.
You and me, fucking just sitting in front of a camera, not moving, would be better than Sharknado.
It has entertainment value. I've never seen them, but I know a lot of people.
It's a fucking tornado full of sharks.
But it's like The Room, man. Like, bad movies have their appeal, where like people will go watch them and make fun of them, and it's an event, right? Like, you get a couple buddies together. I want to do this with the Hurricane Heist. Because the Hurricane Heist is a movie everyone should see. It is just so stupid. It is so bonkers that everybody needs to see this movie. And I'm hoping that's what I get out of The Meg. I hope I go to the theater, have a good time, eat a bunch of popcorn, watch Jason Statham brood. Like, if he's anything like he is in that Melissa McCarthy movie Spy, great. I'm on board.
Yeah, I'm just going to tell you right now, I just Googled the movie and I looked at the ending and... Like, I don't even have words to describe the ending.
Of what?
The Meg.
Why would you look up the ending?
I mean, I'm not, like, going to watch it for its cinematic value.
Yeah, but what if somebody that's listening to this is, and then you spoil the ending of The Meg, and they get mad?
I'm not going to tell them what the ending is. I'm just saying I'm looking at it and I'm like...
Well, it's based on a book. So...
I mean,
that's not necessarily...
That's not saying much. I mean...
It's not necessarily...
A lot of bad books out there.
Right, but I'm just saying that's not necessarily the ending that they're going to make for the film.
No, this is the ending.
Of the movie?
Yeah, this is the movie Wikipedia page. Well, Ruby Rose is 32?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, let's tell the people a little bit about it, I guess. So, like you mentioned, it stars Ruby Rose, Jason Statham, Rainn Wilson.
It also stars Lee Bingbing.
Film. Your boy Paige Kennedy is in this film.
I do like Paige Kennedy.
It's directed by John Turteltaub, who Max. We can play a little game here. Can you name me? I'll do one. Can you name me one movie that John Turteltaub has directed? He's directed some big name stuff.
I'm gonna guess Fast and the Furious 8.
No, that would be F. Gary Gray who directed that film. No, some of the films that are on Mr. Turteltaub's filmography include National Treasure, which I have a soft spot for. National Treasure Book of Secrets. Last Vegas, which is, I believe, I haven't seen it.
He directed Cool Runnings?
I know I didn't say Cool Runnings. I said Last Vegas.
He did direct Cool Runnings, though.
Oh, he did?
And as well as Three Ninjas.
Ah.
Do you know what that one is?
I do.
I'm more familiar with Three Ninjas, High Noon at Mega Mountain, starring Hulk Hogan.
Yes, I was just going to ask if he directed that.
I don't think he did, but that's the
because
one
I'm on board
I'm more
with
familiar with.
I
would rent that all the time.
Do you remember the movie? Do you remember the Bruce Willis movie, The Kid?
Yes, I do.
He also directed that. It looks like. Yes, he directed The Kid. But yeah, like Max mentioned, the Meg, it follows a
fucking
prehistoric shark. Yep, pretty much a prehistoric shark that wants to eat people. I think it looks dope. I think it'll be fun. Currently, right now, it has a 41% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm gathering up the Metacritic score as we speak. 47 on Metacritic, which is, if you're not familiar with Metacritic, you should be, first of all. And, yeah, so we won't spend too much time on that. Other film coming out this weekend, which I'm really excited for, that we talked about before we started recording, is BlacKkKlansman. It's getting a very small, well, not very small, I guess. 1,500 theater releases.
I'm excited for the BlacKkKlansman.
Yeah, man, it looks really good, and I like that Spike Lee is at a point in his career where he's now directing Denzel's kid after all the work that Denzel has done with Spike Lee.
Well, but the film, straight up, Adam Driver is my boy.
He's great.
Adam Driver is a great actor.
If you haven't seen the movie Patterson, check out Patterson. It's a fun little, it's like an hour and a half movie. Jim Jarmusch film for you hardcore film fans out there. It's a good film. He's good in it. He's been great in a lot of other stuff too. I like Logan Lucky. He's so good.
Yeah, Logan Lucky's good.
But anyway, BlacKkKlansman, John David Washington, who, if you don't know who that is, it's Denzel's kid, but he's also in Ballers, a terrific show on HBO, which is coming back this weekend.
Oh,
big weekend for John David Washington.
I gotta catch up on that.
Yeah, in like Max mentioned, it also stars Adam Driver, Topher Grace, Corey Hawkins, who played Dr. Dre in the movie Straight Outta Compton. Alec Baldwin is credited in this, although I haven't seen him in any of the trailers or promotional material or anything. So, Max, is this something you're going to go see opening weekend?
I'm going to try. I work nights, so that kind of sucks, but I'm going to try to see it. I've been looking at this movie for a while, and it's one of the better movies to come out this summer, I think. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to go try to see it. Like I said, I like Adam Driver, and I think that John David Washington's is starting to rise. He's really good as Ricky Jarrett, Ballers, and I think this could be a breakout film for him.
Absolutely, it looks.
And it's Spike Lee. Terrific. I mean, you can argue about what Spike Lee chooses to make movies about, but I mean, he's a great filmmaker.
When Spike Lee takes his time and really kind of dives into material, his films are great. I'm thinking mostly about Inside Man. If you've never seen Inside Man, It's a brilliant thriller. He Got Game, obviously, is one of his best films. Do the Right Thing. Everybody knows Malcolm X, all these great films that he's done. But he's done a lot of interesting stuff that I won't judge because I haven't seen it. I've heard mixed things about Chirac, the musical. I think it was a musical.
He got a lot of
couple
hate
years
from
ago.
Chicago for that,
he's always kind of been a Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
He Spike always pushed the envelope. And he's the type of person that doesn't really care. What you think. Was he the one that directed Fruit Valley Station? Or am I wrong on that?
Nope, that was Ryan Coogler.
Oh, okay.
Who also Black Panther Creed director.
Oh, I gotcha.
Fruit Valley Station is a fantastic film.
Speaking of, kind of since you mentioned those movies there, just gonna quick. What do you think about James Gunn and the letter that the whole cast signed?
We're gonna, we don't want to get political on this show, but I will say this about the whole James Gunn thing. The difference between what he did and what someone like Roseanne did is that these tweets aren't from the day that her show got canceled. If you know what I mean. Like, Roseanne tweeted some nasty shit, and then 2 hours later, ABC canned her show.
Right.
These tweets are from 10 years ago, and they're awful tweets. I mean, there's no getting around that. They're absolutely awful. Some of the jokes he makes are they're not funny, and I think he realizes that, and I think it was a knee-jerk reaction on Disney's part. He won't be blacklisted. He'll work again. In fact, there was multiple reports that actually just came out today about how, in the Hollywood Reporter, about how he's already being courted by many studios, and that he's expected to probably get $7 to $10 million for his Guardians 3 script. Because Dave Bautista now just said that he won't do Guardians 3 without Gunn's script. So, and it sounds like Disney is willing to pay anywhere between $7 to $10 million to get that done.
Well, and here's the deal. I think the James Gunn. No, you can go ahead.
Real quick, I just wanted to say, and the stupid thing about this is that Disney, literally today in their statement, literally admitted that he didn't breach his contract. So that's all I wanted to say about that. Well, take that as you will.
I was just gonna say this. This is starting to get really, really old. You see it like with the guys in Major League Baseball, and it's not that these tweets are just coming to light, randomly. I mean, people are taking people that are becoming successful or are successful, and they're literally spending hours digging through their tweets, their Facebook posts, their shit. And I'm not saying that the stuff they said is bad, but I mean, let's be real. How many of us said some things when we were 16, 17, 18 that we don't regret? I mean, half the time I look through my time hop, I'm like, oh my God, I can never run for public office. So I'm not saying when I was younger, I was saying racist things or that kind of stuff. No. I'm not saying that, but at the same time, it just seems like that's the cool thing to do. And the fucked up part is the guy that, I think you're the one that kind of showed me this, the guy that blew the whistle on James Gunn was an even worse person than he was.
Yeah, he's an alt-right blogger.
All he was doing was trying to ruin James Gunn's career, and I think people have realized that they can weaponize, stuff like this for their own personal gain. And it's starting to get ridiculous. This dude throws a no-hitter, or almost throws a no-hitter, and all of a sudden he's got all these tweets that are dug up. I mean, what does that serve?
It doesn't.
People aren't allowed to change, who they were. I mean, isn't that the whole point of growing up? And that was the kind of thing with Josh Hader. I'm not saying what he said was right, but you look at all the African American guys in the locker room, they're all like, we've never had any problems with him at all. And then you get the newspapers well, he was quoting a popular rap song. It's like, well, what the fuck? No one's sitting here saying yeah, do it. That's a great thing to do. But you have to be able to sit and separate and also be like, okay, I can look at that and be like, you know what? Not cool. Not who he is today. I get it. But it's just, let's just crucify him. That's the new thing to do. And I apologize, I kind of went off on a tangent here, but I mean, you've seen this with a lot of celebrities now,
Yeah.
And it's nothing at all to me like the Me Too movement. It's nothing like that. When obviously all that stuff's serious and people are losing their careers over it, as they should. But, somebody tweets out a poor joke 10 years ago and, do they deserve to lose their career? I mean,
yeah.
I think we all need to take a look in the mirror and, it's kind of human nature. Human nature, people say dumb shit. I mean, it doesn't make it right, but, people are allowed to change,
No, I think you bring up good points. I thought, it's well said. And, it's a dumb situation. Like I said, James Gunn isn't going to be blacklisted. He's going to work again, and probably going to work again very soon. And he's going to get a nice payday for his script. So probably more than he would have gotten if he just had wrote it and tried to sell it to the studio. But yeah.
I just thought of it. That's why it just came to me, because all the actors signed that thing, and they're like, we're not going to work on Guardians 3 without James Gunn, which I thought was a very interesting.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't know that the rest of them said that. I know Dave Bautista said that. I'm not sure if that was the case when it came to the rest of the cast, but they did sign the open letter saying that they did not agree with what Disney had done as far as firing James Gunn. So, but as far as I know, unless you've read something else, as far as I know, Dave Bautista is the only one that has said he won't do it.
The interesting part about that is, what's her name? Zoe Saldana?
Zoe Saldana, yep.
She signed it.
They all did.
Well, Cooper, okay, but my bigger point is, why would she need to sign it? You see what I'm getting at?
No.
Why would she be involved in Guardians 3?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Could just be a show of solidarity, but
I'm sure that's what it was. And who knows?
Interesting.
But yeah, that's the beauty of this new format, Max. We can literally go on tangents if we want.
I will talk about whatever I want to talk about, and I will not be stopped. I'm Alex Jones
Sports.
Jr. Oh, no, not Alex Jones Jr. Never mind.
No.
Not that.
We don't want that.
Not that.
I laughed my ass off at that Bon Iver thing.
That was so funny. Or the Donald Trump as an emo song.
Yes. And I probably watched that like 3 times this week.
That was so freaking funny.
Regardless of your political beliefs, it's funny.
Oh, the Alex Jones one is just hilarious, because
it's fantastic.
This dude's a complete crackpot. Anyone that listens to him should just fucking jump into the ocean and get eaten by the megalodon.
That's right.
But it's like an auto-tune, just like, he posted a picture today of him like crying with some lyrics, and he attributed the lyrics to Johnny Cash. And everyone correctly jumped in there. They're like, well, that's actually Trent Reznor of 9 Inch Nails that wrote those lyrics. Not Johnny Cash. Yeah.
So, anyway, getting back to, well, I mean, we don't have to talk about it. The only other movie opening in wide release this weekend is Slender Man, but, who gives a fuck? That movie, who cares?
Fuck that.
It's going to have 12 teenagers that are going to go see it, and it's going to make all its money back because they probably shot it for $6.
Seems like they're just exploiting the girl that got fucking murdered to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy.
That's when it really rose in popularity, was when that girl stabbed the other one, saying Slender Man told her to. Like, okay, we get it. We've heard of schizophrenia before. Obviously, wasn't Slender Man.
People have brought that up on the internet beforehand. So the Meg, Black Klansman, Slender Man. Let us know what you guys are going to go see this weekend. And speaking of letting us know, just a real quick thing. Our podcast, in addition to also being available on YouTube, we are also available now on Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Breaker. There's a couple others that were available. Anchor as well, if you're an Anchor member. The feed to all of these different areas in our RSS feed as well will be available in the link. And I'm probably also going to record a little button either at the beginning or the end of this episode that will let you guys know where else you can find us. No Apple Podcasts yet, but hopefully be there soon.
We're in negotiations with Apple. We just became the first $1 trillion company, so
yeah. But yeah, make sure, and the other thing too, make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys like. Make sure you guys share if you like what we got going on here. If you like the podcast, do all that stuff. So yeah. Just wanted to plug that real quick. Yeah, man. Let's dive into a couple of things. I know you've been busy lately. I've been busy. But I have been able to get to the movies a little bit more. So we'll save mine because I have a few more films that I'm not going to review necessarily. Just films that I'd like to talk about and recommend or not recommend. But Max, what have you watched lately? Netflix or in the theater or wherever? What have you watched lately that you wanted to bring up today?
Honestly, I've been so busy. I have not gotten to a lot of movies lately. I was on vacation and then been working, and I've not gotten to a lot of movies lately. I don't even remember the last one I saw in theaters. I'm probably going to go see Mission Impossible tonight, though. I'm shocked it's good, but I gotta go see
Funny
it.
You bring that up. Because that's one of the movies I was gonna bring up. Yeah, so Mission Impossible Fallout. I was late to the party. I was a week late on this. I did get a chance. I was down in the Twin Cities area over the weekend and had a chance to actually go see it in IMAX, which I'll tell you this about the IMAX. There are very select scenes that are shot in IMAX. It's not like Dunkirk or,
so the whole thing is not
stuff
in IMAX.
Or Blade Runner. No, there are select shots, but I tell you what, Max, the stuff that is shot in IMAX is ridiculous. It's so cool. Say what you want about Tom Cruise as a person, as this, whatever you want to talk to. I'm stumbling on words. The dude is a movie star. And I gotta be honest with you, I like the first Mission Impossible movie. Came out in 1996. The second one is okay. I think the third one is atrocious, the John Woo one. Shout out to John Woo. We talked about Face Off on the last episode. Go listen to that. And then Ghost Protocol, I liked. I thought it was a little bit overhyped at the time. I went back and revisited it a couple years ago, and I did end up enjoying it more the second time than I did the first time. Was genuinely surprised at how much I liked Rogue Nation. This, in my opinion, I know I'm not as hardcore about Mission Impossible, but just on a pure thrill and fun level, this is my favorite one of this franchise. It's a blast. And I think if you guys want a good time at the movie, it is long. It doesn't play long, though. It's like 2 hours and 27 minutes, but it doesn't play like a 2 hour and 27 minute movie. It's just a genuinely really fun, really thrilling film. And you can see Tom Cruise just going after it. There's the final sequence in the helicopters, particularly in IMAX, was fucking amazing. It was just so fun to watch.
I'm just glad that the trailer introduced me to Pressure by Imagine Dragons. Great song.
Friction,
yes, you're right. Friction, good song.
If you weren't staring at your phone, maybe you'd get it right.
We're answering fan mail.
Oh, a fan mail, yeah. What? Who's messaging you?
Oh, a lot of fans.
Armand White.
Yeah, Armand White's not too happy, but
that's what we need to do. We need to work in an Armand White reference in every episode as a callback to our first episode. That way, our OG fans will be like, "I know why they make that reference.
I remember that."
If we or when I should say when we make it really big, and you guys who are listening right now. Don't tell people where our references come from. Make them go back and listen to the stuff, right? Don't
let them know.
Yeah. Anyway, Armand White. Every
Armand
episode.
White sucks.
No, Mission Impossible Fallout is really great. It's a lot of fun. One of the things I thought was cool, not about Mission Impossible, Damien Chazelle's new film, First Man, with Ryan Gosling about Neil Armstrong, the Neil Armstrong biopic. Select scenes of that were shot in IMAX, and there was, remember when, and obviously we didn't have it here in Duluth, we don't have an IMAX theater, we have the Ultra Screen, which is garbage, that's for another podcast, but there was a little 4-minute intro for First Man. This is kind of akin to what Christopher Nolan did, and I don't remember what specific movies it was in front of. I want to say the opening scene of The Dark Knight played in front of IMAX screenings of I Am Legend or something like that. And they did this again here with First Man. And I have Max is going to lambast me for this. I have an Apple Watch. And the Apple Watch has a heart rate monitor on it. And the IMAX scene that you see before Mission Impossible, if you see the film in IMAX, this is only if you see the film in IMAX, I read. Max, my Apple Watch is a scene where it's a really claustrophobic scene with Gosling and the other astronauts in this little pod and they get shot out into space or whatever. Dude, it's insane. My Apple Watch literally had to tell me to breathe because my heart rate was elevated. I am so hyped up for that movie.
Really?
Like, just watching that trailer, yeah, man. It looks.
Wait, which movie is that again?
It's for First Man, the Damien Chazelle film, director of Whiplash and
about,
La La Land.
About Neil Armstrong?
It's about Neil Armstrong. Yep.
Why is there a shootout?
Topic. No, they get in. So they're in this space. They're in like this pod, right? Like they get shot out into space.
Oh,
right, like the launch, and it's an intense scene. So if you got an IMAX out there and it's playing Mission Impossible, go see it in IMAX. You can just checking out that clip from First Man is reason enough to.
Sorry,
check that out.
I was busy finding an Armand White reference for you. Which one did you say was the worst again? Ghost Protocol.
No, I think all right. Unofficial. Here's my unofficial. According to my taste, Mission Impossible ranking. So my favorite is Fallout. I would say the first one would be next, and then probably Rogue Nation, 2, Ghost Protocol, and Mission Impossible 3. So I think Ghost Protocol is leaps and bounds better than Mission Impossible 3.
What's the third one called?
It's just Mission Impossible 3. They didn't get subtitles till they rebirthed it with Ghost Protocol.
Pretty bad name.
Mission Impossible 3 killed this franchise. And then they brought it back with Brad Bird with Ghost Protocol, and then Christopher McQuarrie now has directed the last 2, and they found a formula for this series that works. It's not like the Fast and Furious where it's like super over the top or anything like that. The stunts are pretty outrageous, but they're fun to watch. They're not like, and they serve the story and they serve the character. It's not just exploding a fucking submarine
just because
out of a just because like, oh, that'd be cool to see it chase a Lamborghini. No. There's real stakes behind these stunts and these great big action set pieces in this film and really all the Mission Impossible films. But yeah, they're all worth a watch. I think this one, I don't know, for whatever reason, just floored me. I had a blast watching Fallout in the theater, and I think it's one of the best. I think it is the best one.
So were you a fan of Incredibles 2?
Incredibles 2 is in my top 5 of the year so far.
Guess who was not a fan of it?
Armand White. Why would he be?
This I'm trying to find the best one here.
Hold on. Here's the ultimate test. And I haven't seen the movie, but did he like Gotti?
Oh, that's a good call. Let me see.
If he liked Gotti, then it's
well, he tries to inject so much like other stuff. Like he's like Incredibles 2, it's a nuclear family, blah blah blah. I'm like that. It's not. Oh, not Armand Gotti. Armand White. Gotti. And I bet he loved it. That was disappointing. I haven't seen that, but Travolta was so good in OJ, that miniseries.
He was great. He was great in OJ. Or The People vs. OJ Simpson.
Yeah, yep.
He was great in that. Legitimately great. Not just it's a pretty good performance. Like, he was legitimately great.
He was really good.
And he looked just like, what's his name? I can't even think of his name right now, but... Yeah, man, if he liked Gotti, I mean, I bet Gotti's his favorite movie of the year.
Okay, hold on. I'm just quick ripping through some Armand White reviews. Let me just quick read you some quick snippets from these. Okay, let's see.
All right, do it.
Where is it? Roman J. Israel, Esquire, stars Denzel Washington. He says, this movie's white liberal patronizing barely suppresses loathing and repulsion for a figure it pretends to idolize. I don't even know what the fuck that means. Okay, first of all.
It's a decent film.
Okay, so here we go. Here's his soundbite for Incredibles 2. The comic book nature of their social outlawry reduces Zack Snyder's profound issues of faith and the supernatural into the typical Marvel mess of jokey, anti-mythological, and ultra-cynicism. What? Star Wars. Solo, a Star Wars story. It flatters millennials who are largely unschooled in the literary cinematic history of chivalry to romanticize their own self-gratifying assumption of virtue signaling. I haven't read a review of his yet that I understand. I'm trying to find.
Yeah.
He likes the 1517 to Paris, though.
Of course he does. Let me say something about the 1517 to Paris. Through no fault of the actors. Well, they're not actors. I can't call them actors because it's the real life people who disarmed this guy on this train. Through no fault of their own, that's a candidate for worst movie of the year.
Oh yeah.
It is so fucking bad. It is so boring and so slow. And these guys, literally all the 1517 to Paris is, and there's so many bad lines in this movie. People first of all, don't see this movie.
It's because they're not actors.
There's a line, but even from the professional actors.
Eastwood just pandered to the audience.
It does pander.
It's
100%
completely pandering. Hire real actors to make a real movie.
So, there's a scene in this film where Judy Greer, the great Judy Greer, who I like a lot. She's great. If you don't know who Judy Greer is, she's the redhead who plays. She plays Scott Lang's ex-wife in the Ant-Man films.
Oh, okay.
She's also been in a few other things. Fun fact about Judy Greer, actually, too, is she did some motion capture work, I think, in the most recent Planet of the Apes series. Anyway, there's a line in this film. It's Judy Greer and Jenna Fisher, and they're the parents of these young boys who are played by real actors. The younger versions of them are played by actors.
Oh, okay.
But there's a scene in the movie where Judy Greer says something to the effect of, like, my God is bigger than your something. I don't know. You can look the scene up on YouTube, I'm sure. I'm not making a comment on religion or anything like that. It is such a badly on the nose delivered line, and it's like within the first 15-20 minutes of the film. And I saw it with Marissa, and I looked over her, and I just said, "I'm out. That's it for me." There's this whole not allegory. There's this whole thing at the beginning with the kids having the teacher like wanting to diagnose the kids with ADHD, and she's like, "You just want to give them pills and sedate them," and blah blah blah. And it's such like a heavy-handed Clint Eastwood commentary. Is all it is all that film is, and I'm super disappointed in that movie because I think if he would have hired the right actors, it could have been great.
Well, it's just really disrespectful to those guys that were actually heroes. Yeah. Be like if
I mean, they chose to be a part of it though, so I mean, it's not like they.
Well, I agree.
It's not like they said no.
That's true.
Speaking of great movies, we'll move on from that. I've seen several films recently here, Max, over the past couple of, I'll say a month and a half or so, that are legitimately great, and I won't spend a lot of time on them because there's a lot of them. I've seen a string of really, really good films. The last film that I ended up seeing, Bo Burnham's film, 8th Grade. What a good fucking film, man. It's so great. You watch this movie, and it's about a 13-year-old girl, but you would have no idea that a 27-year-old male is behind this story. And the whole story behind it is fascinating. Maybe I'll post a review here on our channel. I'd like to do more of that kind of just separate reviews and things like that with the two of us. But anyway, 8th Grade, a legitimately great movie. Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot is also terrific. If this movie's playing near you, it's great. If you know anybody going through AA or anything like that, it will resonate with you big time. Or if have people that that have addictions or things like that, or have experienced that in your life, I think you'll relate to that film quite a bit. It's great. It's a great Joaquin Phoenix performance. And Max, in what I think is Jonah Hill's best film performance. He is so great in the movie. And
he won't get far on foot.
Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot.
I realized Jonah Hill was in that.
He is amazing in this movie, Max. It is his best performance by far. The cliche acting description. He says so much without saying anything hardly. And when he delivers these really short lines of 2-3 words, maybe 4 or 5, and you get everything you need to know from just the way he delivers them and his eyes. And there's a scene in this film with Joaquin Phoenix kind of pouring out some emotion, and Jonah Hill's, they do a little bit of a close-up on Jonah Hill's face, and you can see the pain in his face that he genuinely feels for this man. I won't say anything more about it. It's a great film. Go see it. It's top 3 for me so far this year, I think, for sure. And I just resonated with the film because it has a little bit to do with adoption and stuff like that. So
I did see a movie this week. I take it back. You're Gonna Groan. It's a movie that I've seen before, but it has started to grow on me. And this is one of those movies. I think if you view it in the light that it has been, like the Fast and the Furious movies, it's actually a lot better. Is Baywatch. When you realize that The Rock's going to make his classic stupid lines and Zac Efron's, not going to put a lot of effort in, it's actually pretty entertaining. Not a great movie by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it's one of those classic, like, just popcorn movies. So
that's your opinion.
It's entertaining.
I'll have to rewatch it.
It's grown on me.
I fucking hated that film. Hated that.
I'm getting really sick of The Rock. Like, either act or don't act or get out of the industry.
I just watched Rampage.
Why?
Holy shit, it was bad. Not bad. It's not a bad film. It's just boring.
Here's the thing. The reason that The Rock pisses me off so much is, like, we watch him in Ballers. He can act, you know? But then he does these movies like Rampage and what was the other one he just came out with?
Skyscraper, which I haven't seen yet.
Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, why make those stupid movies? Daddy's got to go to work. Like, I'm surprised he's not in. Yeah. I'm surprised The Rock's not in the Meg, to be honest.
So, he's the shark. No, I agree with you.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah. And people have shown that they have maybe a little bit of Rock fatigue, or maybe he needs to be paired with it. Because Jumanji made a crap ton of money.
Oh, yeah.
And then Skyscraper came out and was a huge disappointment.
It's a bad movie.
Huge disappointment. Did you see it?
No. It looks terrible.
I heard it was fun. I heard it was better than Rampage. I'll watch it eventually. I'll get around to it. But like I said, I've been popping in I've been hitting up Redbox to be getting a lot of my business lately because I've been trying to catch up on some films that I haven't, that I've missed.
Amazon
some other stuff.
Prime, bro.
Yeah, I watched a film on Amazon Prime called Lean on Pete, which is also in the conversation of one of my favorite films of the year. So check that one out on Amazon Prime if you haven't.
Lean on Pete.
There's one I want to talk about. We should probably wrap it up here pretty soon. But there's a couple more things that I just wanted to mention. I'm not going to talk about. Leave No Trace with Ben Foster and I can't remember the girl's name, but it's a terrific film. Definitely check out Leave No Trace. What else did I see? I watched Beirut with the John Hamm film that recently came out. I enjoyed it quite a bit, actually, more than I thought I would. Upgrade was a nice little surprise of a film that I watched. So check out Upgrade. And then I'm trying to think of the other things that I've tried to catch up on. Really, really small indie film called The Rider that director Chloe Zhao, she used all non-professional actors. And this is an instance where it's brilliant because it takes place in South Dakota. About this kid who's in the rodeo and he's got, friends, and it's just kind of about how his life is it's just kind of a portrait of that life. So The Rider is something that I think you guys should check out. I also checked out Isle of Dogs.
I heard that was
Wes Anderson film. Yeah, it was pretty solid. I enjoyed large parts of it. The one I wanted to talk to you about, because I know we've talked about this, that I finally got a chance to watch, was The Death of Stalin.
Oh. How is that? I cannot find it anywhere.
Max, it is great.
Is it?
It is so funny. It is so relevant. It is a legitimately great movie. And it has a great cast. It's basically I don't want to ruin it because the jokes are so funny and the gimmick and it's so creative and original in the way that they make this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's at Redbox. That's where I got it. So check it out on Redbox.
I'll have to look it up. Yeah, I heard it's really good.
It's so great. It's so funny. There's so many great funny. It reminded me, in fact, I watched the film and then immediately after I watched it, I popped in Doctor Strangelove. Because I think you can make comparisons between those two films. And I love Doctor Strangelove, so it was fun to revisit that. That's all I have as far as stuff that I've seen. Because it's a little bit more extensive right now because, like I said, I'm trying to catch up with some stuff that I've missed because I like to see as much as possible.
I definitely gotta get back into the swing of things here. There's a number of movies coming out that I'm pretty excited for. Let me just refresh my memory here.
Yeah, we can. What I think we should do next week is we should take a little while and just kind of take a look at the rest of the year going forward.
That's a good idea.
Go month by month and just kind of take a look at what's coming out and the things we're excited about, things we're not excited about.
Yeah, there's a couple coming out by the end of the month here. I'm kind of excited about. Just touch on here quick. I don't know that I'm necessarily excited about the movie Alpha, but I'm interested to see how bad it is.
Oh God, it's going to be terrible. That movie has had about 4 different release dates.
Yeah.
Over the last couple.
I like that filmmakers are going that way because we don't have a lot of movies about the Neanderthals and that kind of stuff that are not just hot garbage. So it's kind of cool to explore because you can write your own roadmap because no one really knows what happened. So I was encouraged by that, the story of domesticating wolves and stuff, but the trailers didn't do anything for me. The Little Mermaid comes out August 17th.
Yeah, that's probably not coming out.
Oh, really?
Have you seen a trailer for it?
No. Oh, good.
It's not coming out.
Good call.
There's no way. What are you on right now?
I'm just on
there's certain sites
Rotten
that
Tomatoes. I use Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes is terrible.
There is a trailer here
for The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Sofia Coppola? Not Sofia Coppola. I'm sorry. You talking about the one with like Chloe Grace Moretz, or is this like a
Poppy Drayton?
What in the hell are you talking about?
Maybe it's not actually like The Little Mermaid. Maybe it's like
I see what you're looking at here.
Oh,
okay.
I thought it was like actually like Ariel and like the dark version of The Little Mermaid. I think it's just called The Little Mermaid.
It is called The Little Mermaid, and it's distributed by a company called Conglomerate Media. So take that as you will. I've never heard of that distribution.
So that one's probably a misfire. Anyway.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's spend the last couple of minutes here or so. Maybe kind of going through the August release schedule and just kind of talking about those things, and then we can really kind of dive into the last quarter of the month of the year with September, October, November, December. We can talk about all that stuff.
And then I like that.
One I'm looking forward to for the rest of this month is probably the Happy Time Murders.
Yep. Oh, for sure.
That trailer looks fantastic. I don't know why, but I'm kind of drawn to this Mark Wahlberg Mile 22, this action movie coming out next week. I'm interested in that. Otherwise, August is kind of a dump month. Operation Finale comes out at the end of the month, so I'm looking forward to that. The trailer for that.
There's some movies that have potential. I mean, and I don't know what a lot of these movies are, but like Papillon has good reviews.
Yep, it's a remake. The trailer is pretty great.
It's got Charlie Hunnam in it, and I believe that's Rami Malek, isn't it? It is,
yes.
Yep, Charlie Hunnam and Rami Malek.
The trailer is good.
I'll have to check that one out. I think Charlie Hunnam really got robbed in King Arthur. I thought that was a good movie. I think he got a lot of negative press for that, but he was very good in Legend of the Sea. So I'm excited to see what his next offering is going to be. Axel looks terrible. Yeah. The Wild Boys, I don't think that's English. This one here, it looks good to me. What Keeps You Alive?
Okay.
It's got 90% right now.
I'm also interested in this This John Cho movie Searching looks like something kind of interesting. It had great reviews out of Sundance, and I feel like it is kind of one of those kind of gimmicky movies where the whole film I feel like takes place in the confines of like a computer screen. It's like him searching for his daughter. Oh, it's almost like Unfriended or whatever you want to call it, but it seems like it's a more intelligent way of going about that kind of movie.
Unfriended was just so stupid. You know what I mean?
I didn't hate the first Unfriended. I haven't seen the second one, but yeah. Sundance has been pretty successful. Some of the films that have come out of Sundance. I still haven't seen Sorry to Bother You. I really want to, that left.
Yeah, I heard that is good.
I heard it's terrific from everybody that was talking about it. Sorry to Bother You was at 8th grade was at Sundance. Leave No Trace. Heard good things about Blind Spotting, which is in theaters now. Hereditary, which I did see.
The big thing is there's not a lot of big names attached to these August movies.
No, man, it's August. August is kind of turning into the dumping ground. But I mean, look what came before it. Okay, so you still have. I mean, you can just take a look at the box office, even from. Let me pull it up here. I mean, you still have Mission Impossible, which is going to make some money.
Yep.
For Christ's sake, Black Panther is still making money. It reached $700 million domestically. Last weekend. I am
hearing that Blaze is a really good movie.
Blaze?
Blaze, yeah, directed by Ethan Hawke. A lot of people are saying it's the best.
Oh boy!
It's the best movie of its genre since Inside Llewyn Davis, which is fantastic.
Inside Llewyn Davis is a very underrated film.
Yes.
Speaking of Ethan Hawke, another movie I watched recently is called First Reformed. It has good critical reviews, and Ethan Hawke gives a great performance in it, but the movie itself is a big-time snooze fest.
Really?
Yeah. So First Reformed is a little indie film. Other than that, you're right. There's a lot of garbage coming out here.
There is one. It doesn't look. It's got a pretty good cast, but I don't think it's going to be very good. The Billionaire Boys Club.
Yeah, that's one of those movies.
Taron Egerton. It's got Kevin Spacey and Emma Roberts.
Yeah, that's one of those movies that unfortunately probably won't see a wide. It could see a wide theatrical release just because of the cast that's involved in it. But I think you got the stink of Kevin Spacey on that
Which
thing.
Is
so
just, and that sucks because Kevin Spacey is such a fantastic actor. And I'm sure he'll never.
Yeah.
If he gets work, I'm sure he's not going to be the same actor again.
I think what he did is a little bit more heinous, and I'm okay with kind of hiding him.
Oh, I agree. I'm okay with it. Just from a pure entertainment standpoint, I mean, he is a fantastic actor.
Yeah, you can have the whole conversation of separating the art. Yeah. You can have the whole conversation of separating the art from the artist. I mean, you look at, you go back to classic Hollywood. I mean, there's stories of Hitchcock, widely considered one of the better directors of all time, and I would certainly put him in that conversation, was, sexist. It was, mean to women and all that kind of stuff.
Woody Harrelson,
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of examples, but I think, and people want to talk about all the money in the world and how blah blah blah, but there were more problems with that film. It's a good film. It's a decent film.
I did not know that
Spacey
was an executive producer on Captain Phillips.
Yeah,
and The Social Network.
He was. He was. I knew Social Network. He was involved a lot more on that side of things, towards the latter years. Yeah. But yeah, all the money in the world. He obviously got replaced from that film, and people want to talk about how Plummer gets an Oscar nomination for it, which I thought was questionable.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know, man. It's sad, but at the same time, he's kind of getting what he deserves. You reap what you sow.
Oh yeah, I think that's because things are changing. Anybody disputes that. Just the pure.
No.
It's unfortunate. Switching gears here, quick, just kind of right at the end here. Something from my neck of the woods. Margot Kidder died May 31st, and it just came out that it was suicide. It's relevant to my area because she lived in Livingston, Montana.
Okay.
Anybody that's familiar with John Mayer, John Mayer lives in Livingston, the Paradise Valley. There are a lot of celebrities do live in the Paradise Valley out here in Montana, beautiful Montana. But she is very well known for being the Lois Lane to Christopher Reeves. I believe she was in 4 Superman movies.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
But she was also a big time activist and was involved and I think she was almost known more for that in the end than her acting career. But she was 69. Just kind of some sad news out of there. She was born in Yellowknife of all places. You know, there ain't shit in Yellowknife. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, as soon as you just brought her up, I'm kind of going through her filmography.
Mm-hmm.
Other than Superman and maybe a couple of TV shows that she's popped up in, I don't recognize any of these films.
No, she was
not a single.
She was in The Great Waldo Pepper opposite Robert Redford, but I've never heard of that movie. But
the only like you're a big fan of that movie.
Not a big fan.
The only thing that I recognize that she was in was the original Amityville horror movie with James Brolin and.
Yep, and she did win. She won a Daytime Emmy for her role in R.L. Stein's The Haunting Hour of the series, which I assume is just kind of like Goosebumps.
R.L. Stein, writer of Goosebumps.
I would think. That's a dude. Like, do you know anything about R.L. Stein? I don't know a fucking thing about that dude, and he's such a famous writer. Like in our childhood.
Jack Black plays him in that Goosebumps movie.
Yeah, he does.
Which is actually not bad. The Goosebumps movie is
not bad. No, it's not too bad. I mean, he's like the Stephen King of like children's literature, but like nobody, Stephen King. No one's like, hey, R.L. Stein. You kind of tend to forget about him as famous as he is. I don't know. I just kind of rambling. I just thought of that. No one really knows. Yeah. I don't know anything about R.L. Stein.
Yeah. I mean, because you think of you mentioned Stephen King. I mean, even he was a fucking coke addict or whatever it was.
Oh yeah.
And he got hit by a car and like Misery is kind of based on
wrote a book about himself.
That's all I got for this week. Nice and short.
Yeah, that's all I got. Really nice.
Coming in at a little bit over an hour.
Real short.
Yeah, not too bad. Hopefully, it's digestible for those out there.
Right.
Anything you want to talk about, Max? Bring up, plug, social media?
No, I don't think so.
Blah, blah, blah.
Just check out our Facebook page, Real Takes. Haven't been super active on the Twitter there, but
no, we're gonna get all that stuff updated here very soon. As soon as Max and I have some time, and we can maybe sit down together and maybe when you're back here sometime, we can sit down and spend a night just kind of going over that shit. So
I think we'll definitely have to do like a drunk podcast or something too.
Yeah,
to spice it up, talk about movies. And...
Yeah, and we'll start doing reviews. Hopefully, I'd like to start doing reviews. I'd like to just do 2, 3, 4 minute reviews and talk about some stuff. I want to start writing some more, and I am going to start writing some more. So yeah. Anything else you wanted to plug or put out there on a personal level?
No, I don't think so. I think we're going in the right direction here. It's almost September, man. Where's the summer gone?
I know. It seems like every weekend of this summer has been planned.
Yeah, that'll get you.
Yeah. But yeah, like Max said, our Facebook page. We'll get on Twitter eventually. We don't have the following.
So mean on Twitter
right now. The thing is, we don't have the following to really justify expanding to tons of social media.
Like, hey, we're just two dudes doing this podcast. The first replies are like, "Why don't you guys go drown in battery acid?" What?
Some asshole just pops up.
Is that you, Alex?
You can find me. You can find me on Twitter at Riley Granson. I tweet about movies pretty much constantly. You'll see the occasional political take or something like that. I don't do a lot of it. There just is no point in this day and age. So, as far as the show goes, like I said, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. Make sure you share it with your friends if they like movies, if they like podcasts. You can drop us an email. I keep forgetting to do this, but I'm going to do it this week. Drop us an email, realtakesinbox@gmail.com if you have anything you want to bring up. You want to talk about, want us to bring up something on the show, have a question that you want us to answer. And expect more content from us, hopefully, as we kind of get settled into a routine. I'd like to do more top 5 shows and stuff like that. So, and like I said, you can find links to our feeds, various feeds on our various sites. in the description here, and I'll also record a little bookend here to the show, talking about where you can find us. So, I think that's it for this week. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.